And welcome to Fourth and Pain, the only pro wrestling show to be hosted by an NFL player and a weight loss champion. He's Redskins defensive end Adam Carriker.
Howdy.
I'm former wrestling announcer turned weight loss champion Chuck Carroll. This Fourth and Pain, be sure to follow us on Twitter at Fourth and Pain. And Adam, last week, we had a big week with the belt presentation. We give it to Robert. WWE catches wind of it, puts it on Monday Night Raw. Granted, my ugly mug was up there too. Very excited about that. 14 years after I go into wrestling school, finally see myself on WWE Raw.
Pretty big deal.
But this week, I'm equally as excited, if not more so, because on the line, we have with us a true pro wrestling historian. The little bit that I've had the opportunity to speak with him so far, I know that this man's wrestling knowledge runs deep, given the old school flair. So with that, we welcome London Fletcher to the show. Fletch, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Now, London, I got to ask the obligatory make Adam feel good question right out of the gate. How much have you missed him in the locker room this year?
Well, I've missed Adam a lot. I'm sure. I don't know if he's missed me because he and I kind of go back and forth on teasing each other about different jokes. He'll joke about me and my height, and I'll joke about an issue that he has. I won't say it right now. But so me and Adam kind of go back and forth. Now I don't have anybody to mess with.
Oh, wait a minute. You poke fun at his height too?
We basically cut promos on each other. And all the height jokes, I I test them out on Fletch and I reuse them on you.
Oh, is that right?
That's pretty much how it works.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'll make fun of his small feet, so just
You want to hear it?
We should switch shoe sizes. Let's put it like that.
Wow.
That's all right. I can handle people making fun of me. So I'll share a story. My first year here, we go to Arizona for the 4th preseason game, and the starters aren't going to play. So we're gonna run before the game. Then we're just gonna stand there. Well, I didn't really bring any shoes to run in, so I go to Fletch. I'm like, I know I've got small feet. I have no problem with this. Small people or people with small feet just wear small shoes. So I go to Fletch thinking he's going to have smaller feet because he's a smaller individual. Borrow his shoes. His shoes are at least a size and a half too big for me. At least. And I'm out there running in these things trying to keep them from falling off the whole time. So, that's where the small feet thing comes from.
Gotcha. I'm begging to hear one of you guys cut promos on that. London, I got to ask you, though, before we leave the shoe topic, were they a little bit ripe when he gave them back to you? Does he got the stinky feet a little bit?
I think they're okay. He needed to put it on two pairs of socks. I think they were
okay. They used to be bad when I was little. I'll admit that. They're a lot better now.
God, man, you teammates are ruthless with each other, man. Because obviously we know the story of you and Chris Cooley from that game. Perhaps the shoes just, set it off on the wrong foot, so to speak.
Literally, so to speak.
Thank you.
Well, the thing is, I like to have. There's certain people who like to have fun back, and, we just have a good time with it. We don't get sensitive and tell people to shut up every other day.
Between you and Lorenzo, man. I thought that this whole defensive unit was supposed to be a brotherhood, and in the end, you just wind up making fun of each other. We're speaking with London Fletcher here on Fourth and Pain, this week's Fourth and Pain champion. And London, another football question. Mike Shanahan last year just flat out said that you were a warrior, and a lot of people have likened you to the Cal Ripken of professional football. Is it really an honor for you to have this consecutive game streak? Is that a motivating factor to keep that going each and every Sunday?
It is an honor. I don't think about it as much as people probably think I do. Oftentimes, I'm not really aware of it until somebody mentions it to me, and I really don't like to talk about it because it seems like recently more people are starting to talk about it, and I've had some injuries recently too. So it's just like, what? Stop talking about this whole consecutive game thing. If it was up to me, we wouldn't talk about it at all.
God, well, we won't talk about it, but I will say, watching you play through the injuries, it's really remarkable. I've seen, weeks go by where you're in a walking boot middle of the week, and then on Sunday you're flying around hitting people like nothing's happening. So,
well, I can actually piggyback off of that. Obviously, this year I'm not there to watch walkthroughs. I'm not there to watch practice. But last year, part of the season, we would just do walkthroughs because the team was so beat up. We had to protect each other throughout the week. And we'd watch film of the walkthroughs, and I'd be watching London. And it was like the dude couldn't even do a walkthrough. He looked just he didn't look that good, to be honest. And then come
Wow.
out on Sunday, he's out there flying around making plays. It was insane. It's like, how does this guy do it? Is he just faking it in the middle of the week, or what's the deal? But on Sunday, he'd be out there flying around making plays.
This, Adam, I still feel the same way. Right now, I feel terrible. We had to walk through the day. I would be able to do it. I feel terrible.
Yeah, man, but you are very well respected, obviously among the favorites here in Washington. But you're not just a football player. London, as we said at the top of the interview, you are somewhat of a pro wrestling historian. So true or false, you were a very big fan of the Squared Circle growing up.
True, very true. I used to sit around and wait for Saturday mornings for the wrestling to come on, so I can watch the wrestling. I used to scream all through the house, and my mom and my aunt tell me to shut up, be quiet. So I definitely was a huge wrestling fan back in the day.
Oh, were you the only guy in your house that was the wrestling fan? Were you flying solo on that?
I had some older cousins who would watch it a little bit, but I guess I was a little bit more of a fan than they were. I was younger than they were, so pretty much me. I was just a little bit louder.
Now watch this, Adam. Who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up? This is where it gets impressive.
Well, I liked Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin, the Road Warriors. So I kind of like those guys.
There you go.
Now for us people who were, maybe born in the past 30 years. Who is Hands of Steve? We just have fun with each other.
Wow.
Who is Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin? I am a big wrestling fan, and I have no idea who that is.
I'm surprised you've never heard of Hands of Stone Ronnie Garvin. It's his signature move. You got different guys now. They all have these signature moves. Ronnie Garvin's signature move was a punch. He had these hands of stone. He'd punch you and knock you out. So, I like that part of his style, because here we are wrestling, but his signature move was a punch, thinking about boxing.
And long before the Big Show trotted that out in modern day, there was Ronnie Garvin.
Sounds like the Big Show's modern
Hands
move.
of Stone. So given that roster that you just listed, it sounds to me like you were a bit more of a WCW fan than you were a WWF fan, right?
You know what? With everything, the way I guess wrestling is now, I don't know, the difference between how they do it now, but back then, I guess it was, would you say WCW?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was. And I didn't have any cable or anything like that, so whatever was on regular TV, that's what I watched.
Now, everybody back then, everyone watched Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior. Were those two of your favorite guys, or were they not that appealing to you?
Yeah, he liked Hulk just because he was kind of like America's, hero, good guy, wrestler guy. So everybody liked Hulk Hogan. He had the great persona, personality, the huge following. He had the toys, the action figures, about him coming out. So Hulk Hogan was the guy. But I also like the Road Warriors, and like I said, Ronnie Garvin. So those are some of my guys.
Well, Adam, you have a little bit of a connection to the Road Warriors, having played with Laurinaitis out there in St. Louis.
Yeah, and the year I was on IR, my last year there, I actually had a chance to meet his dad, and he talked about some of their experiences on the road. He had talked about, it was the first time I ever heard the term jobber, and when he said it, I was like, I don't know what that means. Can you explain that to me? Just someone who shows up, basically gets the crap kicked out of him by the big time, well-known guys. And he used to get mad at these jobbers because they would do the finishing move, the jobbers would mess up, and McMahon would make him do it like a million times over and over again. So he just shared with me these stories, and it was very interesting to me.
Now, Adam, I'm having a senior moment. These things happen evidently when you turn 30. Who Laurinaitis' father was Animal or Hawk? He was Animal.
Because Hawk passed away.
Yeah, Animal.
Oh man, that is just good stuff, man. I would love to see you in that ring going up against James Laurinaitis, little wrestling.
Hey man, that would be a mismatch. James, I could take you any day of the week. Bring it, buddy.
Wow, because I'm going to put that on the headlines.
That's all right, man.
Hey, London, we'd like to ask this question when we have Redskins players on. Who in the locker room do you think most personifies a professional wrestler? Who could make that transition so easily, other than Carriker, from the football field into the wrestling ring?
Oh, man. Let me think. Probably, I'd say maybe Kedrick or Lorenzo. Maybe they're one of those guys. Lorenzo is pretty athletic. Kedrick, he's a big build guy. So maybe one of those guys. Maybe Trent, I guess.
Trent could do it.
Pretty athletic.
Mm-hmm.
A bunch of
athletic, big guy.
big guys.
One of those guys.
But it's not just the athleticism in pro wrestling. There's also a lot of showmanship. So I'm curious, with Trent and Kedrick in particular, what kind of characters do you think they would portray? Who would they be inside that ring?
Oh man. Well, Zoe already nicknamed the One Man Gang, so he probably come out of some type of old school Warriors, the old school movie Warriors, some type of gang outfit.
Sure.
All by himself, taking on a bunch of different people at the same time. You probably take 4 guys on at once, just to kind of fit his personality. Kedrick, my cousin says he looks like Lurch off of Adam Family.
I'm using that.
But they also called my cousin Fred Alvin, so they went back and forth a bit. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Lurch. Holy cow.
Well, I don't know.
What about Chris Baker? I think he could deliver a nasty stink face.
Oh.
What was
Chris,
the name of the wrestler that did that?
I think with Chris, he would
Rikishi.
I don't know. I'm not aware of all of the new age wrestlers now, so he'd probably be like one of those new age guys now. Yeah.
Well, the stink face basically.
Yeah, he'd dance all in the ring and stuff like that. In between moves.
He'd be talking about Swaggy all the time.
So Swaggy Baker.
The stink face is the guy's in the corner. He's basically on his rear, and his head is about where the middle rope is. And Rikishi, who was a ginormous individual, would basically run, and then he'd turn right at the end and put his butt right in the guy's face and just shake it back and forth. Now, I could see Chris Baker just doing a nasty stink face.
Oh, yeah.
That's a heck of a finishing move. Hey, London, last question is actually yours. We'd like to turn the tables on Adam a little bit, and if there's anything you've ever wanted to ask him on the record, put him on blast, now is certainly the time.
Oh, man. Adam, so, who is, for me, I need to know, what do you miss most about not being in the locker room right now?
That is a good question.
There's 2 things that pop
into
into.
Take away not the football part, the locker room.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's 2 things that immediately jumped into my mind when you asked me the question. Just being around the guys, you just miss the camaraderie. You just miss, London comes on here, and I haven't heard a small feet joke in 3 months, and I've come to miss that. I'm not going to lie to you. And the fact that he needs a step ladder to get up on the table and get taped, things like that. We just have fun with each other.
He and I are going to gang up on
that.
You, man.
I knew you would, and I'm surprised it took this long
I got
to do it.
a friend in London Fletcher.
I've got a friend in Stephen Bowen, Frodo Jenkins. And
since Adam has been injured, I have not given him any foot jokes. I just kind of been holding off on it, kind of. I know he was probably a little down, so I said, I won't talk about his feet. So,
he has seen me.
Now I know he's okay. I won't be back talking about those small feet.
Good man.
He has seen me a couple times, and he has been nice to me, and I thought it was a little odd. But I miss the camaraderie. And then the other thing I miss is I just miss the game day atmosphere. Like on Sundays, I get up, and I end up watching, but it's not the same as being in that locker room, guys getting pumped up, guys getting ready to go. So just the camaraderie, just being around the guys, and just the game day atmosphere.
There you go.
I miss you, London. I miss you so much.
I miss you too.
All right. London Fletcher, this week's 4th and Pain champion. We greatly appreciate your time.
All right, thanks.
All right, thanks, Fletcher.
London Fletcher on 4th and Pain. We'll be right back.